Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my Leica Talks, all things Leica. And before we get started, let me take a quick second to please say, if you can support the shows, if you like the content, if you find it valuable, and you can put some value in the show monetarily, I could really use the support. Times are tough as a freelance photographer, and I'm doing more shows, and I'm hoping that I can appeal to my listenership to contribute to keep them going. All right, so today I want to talk about the Barnacks Leica, which I think could be my favorite Leica of all the Leicas I shoot. This is the one that I've talked about many times. This is the Leica 3F with a self-timer and a collapsible 50. And you pull out the lens, you're ready to shoot. You know your three positions, you're ready to go. But because I'm a glasses wearer, this makes it so I can see the whole frame. And I love that frame. It's a 1-to-1, 100% viewfinder, totally clear, totally sharp. If you could only buy one viewfinder and change your world as a 50mm Leica shooter, I would say get that finder. It might be, I'm not sure what the letters are, if I can find out. It just says 5 cm on the front, 5 centimeters. And if I can figure out what the codes are, or somebody here may know, it's one I highly recommend. There are two other Leicas that I use with viewfinders. You've seen this one. This is the one with the 35 3.5 with a little tiny viewfinder. Both of these are pocketable. Both of these I can go out and take a 50 or a 35, or if I want to take color and black and white, I could take both and put them in alternate pockets and have two cameras with me that I can shoot without having to walk in with a camera bag. There are places sometimes where if you're shooting a sensitive subject, like maybe somebody having struggles, maybe somebody having difficulty with some kind of abuse or some kind of addiction, there's times when you could walk in without a camera bag that changes the way people respond to you and maybe allows them to let you in a little quicker than if you walk in with a big bag or a big camera with a 70-200 hanging over your neck. And then the third one that I use a lot is, this is a Leica 3F, but it has kind of a foggy viewfinder. But I have a 15mm finder on it and a 15mm Voigtlander. And again, it's a very, very simple way to make it so that I have different focal lengths in very small cameras. In fact, I can put this 15mm lens into a small Billingham case. I can put the 35mm into the same small Billingham case, and then if I put that over my shoulder, it doesn't look like a giant camera bag. And then if I put that in my pocket, I've carried 3 cameras into a situation with 3 different lenses for 3 different focal lengths and no need to change lenses, because it's not the quickest thing to change from a 35 to a 15 and change finders. But these cameras are small enough and lightweight enough and inexpensive enough. I haven't paid a lot for any of those Barnacks Leicas because I bought them because they have a foggy viewfinder, or, you know, it's one of those things that I was buying some of those Barnacks back in the early 2000s. Nobody even wanted them. They were going for $100. And that's a good example of how you can carry some different lenses in a system that people say the viewfinders aren't good enough. Well, you need to use an accessory viewfinder with a 15mm on a Leica M6, so why not put it on a Barnacks and it's a little smaller camera. The size of the Leica grows because of the rangefinder system and because of the viewfinder. If you are using an auxiliary viewfinder, that 15mm works great on that one. And of all of them, the 50, this is by far the one that I think is just a treat. I was just out shooting with it this past weekend. I took it to a flea market, an outdoor flea market, and I just pulled it out, pulled the lens out, and then it's like, you know, I'm just walking around, and it's like, there's just like it's just so bright, and you can just tell what you're doing. And because I'm left-eyed, I can see things coming in from the right side because now I'm not blocked up by this viewfinder, and it doesn't block up my eyesight from the other eye. To me, I think this is like, as much as I like the bigger Leicas, as much as I like carrying a M6 with a Summicron, this is a wonderful small camera that what it has going for it is size. And with that viewfinder, for a person like me with glasses, that changes. That viewfinder is better than the viewfinder on an M3 for me. If you don't have glasses and you use a diopter or have contacts, you can definitely say the Leica M3 has the best viewfinder ever. But it's only a 92%. This is like 100%. When I look through this at the camera I'm recording this on, it looks like I'm just bringing up a piece of glass. There's no change in perspective. And to me, that is the most valuable thing that I've bought in a long time. Bought it years ago, but that's the most valuable thing that I use all the time that I really, really like. And I like it with the 3F with the self-timer. It's just a smart camera. I use it with the wrist strap because then I can keep that in my pocket and not have the bulky neck strap around it to stuff into my pocket. But that's the very simple way to work, and it gets you a really quality lens in a very small package. Get the little 50mm 3.5 collapsible, and I'm not sure this lens cap was made for it, but it's got felt inside of it, and I like the fact it covers the whole thing so I can put it in my pocket and the lens won't get snagged. All right, that's today's photography talk. Talking Barnacks and viewfinders. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, even with a little bit a month, hit the Patreon, and I'll be back next week and we'll talk photography. Talk Leica. And as always, here's the good light.